So I saw most of you that had finished this had gotten it right. We factored this into x plus 1, x plus 6, and then the bottom factored into x plus 2 and x plus 6. So, do we have anything that reduces here?
The sixes.
The x plus 6s. This all reduces just to 1, and we're left with x plus 1 over x plus 2. That would be my final answer. Again, I cannot reduce the x's because they're part of addition problems. Let's try the same thing with some negatives in there. So number 12, let's try x squared. Oops, you can't see that. There we go. X squared minus x minus 6 over x squared. See if I can make something that'll work out nicely here. How about minus x, again, minus 12. That's actually not going to work. Let's make this a plus sign right there. That should have something that reduces.
So looking at the x squared minus x minus 6, what two numbers multiply to negative 6 but add up to negative 1? What are two numbers that we multiply to make the negative 6 up there? But then when I subtract them, then they make negative. 2 and... So start with x and 2, x3 in parentheses, so like x and 2, x3. And so in order for it to make negative x in the middle, I'm going to make this one the negative one and this one the positive one. Because that way you get negative 2 times negative 2 makes negative 6. So negative 3x, and I multiply that, plus 2x is going to be negative x. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So that's the top one. The bottom now. So, not quite. So here, let me see your feeling with us. Oh, here's the same. Yeah, we can go ahead and see it. So then here, what about the 12? What are two numbers that multiply to make 12? That I think is right. Yeah, that should be 2 times 6. Is there another way to make 12 of them? Because 2 and 6 don't add up to 1 or subtract 1. Another way to make 12.
You're good.
3 times 4 is just and so here we want to stay positive 1 time. So we actually want x minus 3 and x plus 3. Those are going to be the two factors because negative 3 times positive 1 makes negative 12 still.
She said this one.
But 4x minus 3x is going to be positive 1. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I guess you can't give me
So then you can reduce. You have those numbers the same. Here's what's your final answer. You've done everything right. What reduces? Because you're exactly right. This is real close. No, no negative on that.
She knows though.
But then those two match, and so you can. Yep, there you go.
I don't know what your root is.
So this one's a little tricky, right? As far as the different numbers that multiply. So look through.
This doesn't
work exactly after first. Closer. Yeah. Okay, so some of us are stuck. Let's work through this and see if we can get unstuck. What are some ways to multiply to make 6, class? 2 and 3. And that's probably where we want to start because I'm aiming for 1 in the middle. So this is going to be x and 3, x and 2.
Which of those do I need to be negative in order for this to make negative 1x when I actually combine them? Okay, careful. The 3 needs to be negative, and the 2 needs to be positive. Because that way, I get my negative 6x when I multiply those together, but I get a negative 3x and a positive 2x. And that's going to add up to the negative 1x in the middle. Now for the bottom, give me some ways to multiply to make 12. Again, well, true, not very helpful.
No, that's right. You don't get money.
What are some ways to multiply to make 12? 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is the one we're looking for there. Again, you might have tried 2 and 6 or 1 and 12. They don't quite work though. 3 and 4 does. So in order to make it positive 12, I'm going to need one of them to be negative, one of them to be positive. And this time, I need it to be positive 1x in the middle. So this is where I am going to put the negative here and the positive on the bigger number. So that way x minus 3, those are going to reduce down to 1. And I'll be left with x plus 2 over x plus 4. How are we doing with this? Are we getting better? Slowly? Let's try another one. What am I on? Number 13, I think?
Yeah, shut up, Brandon. Shut up, Brandon.
Guys,
What?
stay focused. There we go. Let's try x squared plus 7x plus 10 over x squared, how about minus 3x minus 10. Try that one. That should reduce, should work out nicely. So again, same idea as before. How are you doing? How are you doing with this? Sorry. But again, I want you to be practicing. I want you to feel like you're ready for the test on Friday. So what are two numbers that multiply to make 10, Christian? And do those add up to 7?
Wait, yeah.
They do. So go ahead and factor that out. Alex, not. Did I do that wrong? I think maybe, okay. Your signs on the bottom are switched. Check the signs on the bottom. That's what I was thinking it should be, yes. So, but I want to see the actual factors on the top. I want to see that. We said it was 5 and 2. Okay, it's both of those on the top right now. X plus 2 times x plus 5. Yeah, what they want.
No, here's one.
That's right. And so then on the bottom, you're looking for it to end up making negative 5? Or in order to make that negative 10, you're going to want to use negative 5 and positive? Does that make sense? Because it's still 5 and 2, but this time it needs to be negative 10. And so once you've done that, then one of them should cancel out. Okay, the top is still positive and positive. That's what you had originally. X plus 5, x plus 2. I want you to follow along while we're going over this. Yeah, sign out and take one of the passes. Somebody else will just went out. I am just went out, but she didn't do it back. You can go. For a little dollar store calculator. There you go.
They're trying to find Michael.
Yeah. You got it. Good.
40 minutes.
So, for both of these, they end up being 5 and 2. Because 5 times 2 makes 10 and adds up to 7. And now here, 5 times 2 makes 10, but minus 5 minus 2 makes 3. Which is where you put the negative sign for the bottom part. Not quite. Okay, let's check it. So most of us got the first top part just fine. X plus 5, X plus 2. That was fine. But let's make sure we got the bottom part right. So Christian, I'm going to have you finish this one. So, we know it's going to be X and X again, because that makes the X squared. So Christian, what were the two numbers that multiplied to make 10?
5 and 2.
Okay, so we know we have a 5 and a 2. But if I want those to add or subtract to negative 3, which of those am I going to make negative and which one's going to be positive?
5 would be negative and positive.
Does that make sense? Negative 5 and 2 makes 3?
Yeah.
Yep, negative 3 right there.
Yo, I just saw a perfect star and was on accident.
So this is our correct factored form. Then take the x plus 2's. That's going to reduce down to just 1. And we'll be left with x plus 5 over x minus 5. A few of you had this backwards because you had the negatives in the wrong spot on the bottom. So we want to make sure that that's correct. Now we did some multiplication as well. So let's take it up one more step. One more step. Number 14. Let's try the same idea. 2x plus 4 over 5x plus 5. Is everybody clear that both of those factor by just taking a number out? All right, so those will factor by taking a number out. But then we're going to multiply this by x squared plus 7x plus 10. We just did one of those. Actually, no. Sorry, that's not going to work. Make this right here a 6. X squared plus 7x plus 6. On the bottom, let's make that one the x squared plus 7x plus 10. That should be better. Give this one your best shot, okay? Give it your best shot there.
We'll be practicing more tomorrow. The test isn't until Friday. We'll have all tomorrow to review as well. We'll do some activities and other stuff next week. So like the 2x plus 4. 2 goes into both of those, right? You just factor out.
Yes. Be stranded. Forever band-aid. Cheesy pizza. No. Don't make pizza. Don't make hot dog. Why does it so hot dogs? Don't make dog.
Okay, so I see a lot of us are stuck on this. Let's talk about it. That looks really good. So, let's see if we can work this out. And I'm going to get some help from you guys as we go through. I know we were a little stuck on this, but it's the same idea as what we were doing before. This we didn't practice earlier, but that's why I wanted to show it to you right now. So, Joel, what goes into 2 and 4? 2. And again, I'd like everybody's, especially if you were stuck on this, everybody's attention here. I can take a 2 out of both of those, leaving me with x plus 2. How about the bottom, 5x plus 5? What do they have in common? Anakin, what can I take out of those two terms? Do they have something in common? And for this?
5.
Yes. For the 5. So we can take out a 5. And if I do that, if I take out the whole 5 there, I'm going to leave a 1 in its place. And then what we practiced the end of last week, beginning of this week, was that multiplication, it's just all the top parts multiplied together, all the bottom parts multiplied together. So now I'm looking for a way to multiply to 6 and add up to 7. Haley, what multiplies to 6 and adds to 7? 1 and 6. So x plus 1, x plus 6. And the bottom, we did this just recently. Amato, what multiplies to 10 and adds up to 7? Let's start with just the 10. What numbers multiply to make 10? That's right. And does that add up to 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can multiply this out, factor it out. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to let you guys go in like 3 minutes, so it's up to you. So x plus 2, x plus 5. So that is fully factored. That's fully factored. So now, how can I reduce this? Is there any factors on the top and the bottom that are exactly the same? X plus 2's here and here, that reduces to 1.
X plus 1.
And x plus 1. There and there reduce. Okay, so double check. A few of you only got like one of those. But it should reduce all the way like that. So we're left with 2 times x plus 6 over 5 times x plus 5. Does that make sense to everybody? So I know some of you, you were like part way there, maybe didn't quite finish. Now, the last thing I want to go over with you guys, and I know card students, you're about to head out. Card students, the worksheet that we were doing yesterday was a graph. I forgot to collect that at the beginning, so I'll collect that for you guys tomorrow. Okay, if you didn't finish it, you need to finish it. The rest of you guys, we're going to do a practice or two with a graph, just real fast. Make sure you remember how to do that. But card students, you guys are welcome to take off. Just make sure that that is finished. Everybody else, let's look at one more example of a graph and see if you guys can do one like this. So number 15. If I want to graph y equals 1 over x plus 2 minus 3. If I want to graph this number right here, this number right here, that negative 3 is going to be my horizontal asymptote. So that means down here at negative 1, 2, 3, I'm going to put a dashed line that I'm not going to go across. Whereas the plus 2 right here, this one's going to shift us left 2. This is what we were practicing yesterday. Left 2. So 1, 2. Here is the vertical asymptote that I don't cross. I need to plug in a couple points on either side. I need to plug in maybe negative 3 and negative 1. So if I do that, if I plug in, let's actually make this f of x instead, so that I can show if I do f of negative 3, that's 1 over negative 3 plus 2. Minus 3. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, so 1 over negative 1 minus 3. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. So if I'm graphing that, -1, -2, -3, -1, 2, 3, 4 would be right there. And then if I do, let's see on the other side, let's do f of -1. That would be 1 over -1 plus 2 minus 3, which would just be 1 over 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is -2. So that's -1, -2. And the idea is, if I remember the shape of my graph, that kind of curve right there and a curve right here, that's my graph. Not crossing those two lines, but going through those 2 points with that shape. Rather than having you guys try one, I'm going to work out one more with your help real fast. And then we'll call it good, because we've only got about 3 minutes left in class. But before I do that, does anyone have any questions about what we just did there? So let's try 16. Try one more problem. For number 16, let's do f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 4 plus 2. So if I graph this, the minus 4 right here, this part is going to take me right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my vertical asymptote that I can't go across. And then this plus 2 is going to move me up 2. 1, 2. There's my horizontal asymptote that I can't go across. And then I need to get points on either side of this graph. On either side of this vertical line right here. So I could do f of 3. Try to move this so you guys can see it. F of 3 would be 1 over 3 minus 4 plus 2. 3 minus 4 would be -1. And that really ends up just being -1 plus 2, which is just 1. 3, 1 would be the point right there. And then if I do f of 5, 1 over 5 minus 4 plus 2, 1 over 1 plus 2, 1 over 1 plus 2, that's 1 plus 2 is 3. Right here. When I make this graph, I go right along the pink line, through that blue dot, down by the orange line. Same thing right here. So again, that paper, if you didn't finish the worksheet from before, is due tomorrow. We've got about a minute left here, maybe 2. I want you guys to clean this up, wipe off the whiteboards, put them back there, put the markers back there. We'll do some more review tomorrow.